All right, guys, here it is. New day. Gonna start on this. I can see I did a little bit off camera. Put flares on it. Put a stereo in it, CB in it. Got the ARB compressor in it, wired up. Dashes all put back together. But today we're gonna do the SYE. You can see it hasn't moved all that much. The stickers are still on the tires. But it's only a front-wheel drive Jeep right now. Well, the transfer case is out and sitting on the bench. I'd love to tell you it was easy, but it really wasn't. Kind of a pain in the ass. These studs were coming out instead of the nuts coming off, and thought I was going to drop it on my face a couple of times, but anyway, it's out. Not have been easy without an impact gun. Alright, well, I never encountered one of these balancers on this transfer case. There's 3 6mm jam bolts or jack bolts on this thing. I don't have 6mm, but I do have 1/4-20. So I ran a tap down them, tapped them out to 1/4-20. The major issue is I broke a tap off in that hole. So I'm going to try and do this with 2 bolts and a hammer. See how it works. Seems to be coming though. I'm gonna get it loaded up so it doesn't get crooked. Give it a couple of whacks on either side. But I had no idea how to do this. I looked at it and kind of shook my head. What happens when a lefty swings a hammer righty? But it seems to be moving. When I hit it, the bolts loosen up. I guess I'm getting somewhere. Well, that ain't working. The bolts are just pushing through the case. Alright, well that didn't work out either. I beat on it with a big hammer until it came apart. I don't know if that's better or worse, but we'll keep going. Alright, well, I took the cutoff wheel, cut about 3 slices into it to loosen it up. I'm not saving any of this stuff, including the tail housing. Replacing it all, the hell with it. Why waste all day screwing around? That's that. Ow! There's that bolt, the jack bolt that didn't work with it. Crap. Oh well. It just looked. This didn't come with directions. I watched a couple of YouTube videos in the past couple of weeks. I think I have a pretty good understanding. I had a transfer case apart years ago for a Bronco 2 to replace the bearings in it. I'd like to think I'm a better mechanic now than I was back then. So we'll wing it. there's a snap ring in there holding a shaft and this tailpiece on. I bought this snazzy new set of proto snap ring pliers just for this job. So let's see how they work. Not as good as I'd like them to. Just got weird circlips. I've never owned a pair of pliers like this before. But again, I was watching people struggle on YouTube and saw these. The one guy using these pliers. And it looked a lot easier than what everybody else is doing, so I bought a pair. It's off, I just got to pull it out of there. Nice little hook on the end of those too. It's pretty good for pulling this out. There we go. Fancy. That was money well spent. Don't need that anymore. Got to be careful of the pump. Let's get the case split. There's one oddball bolt for some reason on the top of this case. It's right here. And it's a 10 millimeter 12 point. I just sprayed it up. I didn't want to break it because it looked kind of crappy, but anyway, that came out easy. But remember where that bolt goes, because it has to go back there. And all the rest of them are, I believe, 15 millimeter. Yes, they are. Two spots to pry from. You can see it's notched out for like a screwdriver. There's one here and one in the opposing corner. I just drove a screwdriver in with a hammer. Broke free pretty easily. So there's another one over here somewhere. Where are you at? There it is. I think you're supposed to pull everything off the front half. Something like that. There's the mess. Alright, clean up a little bit here. Maybe. Well, getting that circlip was about a pain in the ass. I actually destroyed it in the process. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide these off exactly as they are. Set that to the side. I'm going to put them right back on this shaft so I don't screw them up. Like that. I think I'm actually going to stop right here and get all this gasket material cleaned up. Just using a wire wheel on a die grinder real slow. This is how I usually clean the gaskets. I'm kind of lazy and usually in a hurry. machined surface, you don't want to get too crazy with it. You don't want to gouge it or anything. Alright, I guess this is going to be a little bit of a juggling act here. Okay. And again, this goes in all in one shot. Persuasion to get in there the rest of the way. Alright, well, I just had a scare. I thought this wouldn't shift. I thought I screwed something up, but I didn't. I cleaned that up real good. I'm going to I put a thin coat of RTV on it. Now I'm going to clean up this side, install the oil pump, and drop everything back together. Make sure everything lines up. Sure the oil pump's lined up. That would be bad. Make sure the pickup tube's still in there. Alright, start putting these 15mm bolts back in. That one does not go there. This one goes there. That holds the wiring harness, so we want that one in the right spot. Go ahead and put a little blue Loctite on here. It looks like there was some kind of Loctite on it from the factory. I just searched around and couldn't find anything that said which way this went on. So I figured I'd keep this in the video. I'm with about 90% certainty that this is the orientation it goes. Now we're going to put a little bit of RTV on the splines of this, make sure we don't have any leaks. Splines of the yoke. Torque it down and then we're done. Well, the other yoke too. On the front output side, you're just going to use your old yoke. I put RTV on that one too. And I think that is an install of a JB Conversions super short or mega short SYE kit for a Jeep Wrangler TJ MP231J transfer case.